This video is going to be about the mathematical term mode. All the mode is the number that is seen the most in a set of data. Anything that we're going to do, mode, median, or range, which we'll get into in the next days, you have to put the numbers in order. We just do least to greatest because that's just the traditional way to do it. So we're going to put all the numbers in the data set in order. Honestly, if you put it in order of greatest to least, you're still going to get the right answer, but you have got to remember the most important thing is you have to put them in order, least to greatest or greatest to least, but everything you see me do is going to be least to greatest. Now there's something else to know about mode is that sometimes you will see one mode, sometimes you might not see any mode at all, and sometimes you might see 2, 3, 4, 10 modes. It just depends on the data set. We'll be looking at a couple of data sets so that you can see the different scenarios in which there would be no mode, one mode, or many modes. Now mode in the real world. Let's say there was a bakery and they sold some red velvet cupcakes and they also sold some brownies, and they see that the red velvet cupcakes are selling way better than the brownies, say 2 times better than the brownies. They will use that information, the number of the red velvet cupcakes that are sold, as their mode, because that's how they plan on making sure that they make more of what the customer's demanding so the customer's happy. And that can be used in any retail business. They're going to look at what sells the most so they can make sure they have that product available. Let's do some examples now. Let's say I had this data set. The first thing we said we were going to do is we're going to put it in order from least to greatest. So we're going to go through here, and I mark off as I use them. So I see 5 as the least, then I see a 7, I see another 7, so I have to put it down, I see a 9, 12, 14, and 16. So then I look through my list and I look for the number that I see the most. I see 7 2 different times, and all the other numbers just once, so my mode is in fact 7. The word mode and the word most sound very similar. They both have that long O and they start with the M. That's just kind of a way to help you remember that. So this is an example of when there is one mode. Let's look at another data set as an example. What are we going to do first? Least to greatest. So I see a 1, a 3, 9, 12, and 14. I'm looking through my list and I see that all the numbers only appear one time. So I have no mode. There is no number that's seen the most. So in the real world, let's say a bakery was baking things and they noticed that everything was selling about the same, then they would plan to make everything about the same because that is the trend that's happening. In one more example where we're going to see several modes. Alright, so you're going to put this in order from least to greatest. We've got 1, 1, 2, 5, 5, 6, 6, 9. And once again, I use the strategy I'm using by marking them out because I don't want to forget any number, because that could be critical to me finding the right answer. Now I'm looking and I see, oh, there's 2 1s, there's also 2 5s, and there's also 2 6s. So I have 3 modes here. My modes are 1, 5, 6. Now what if I threw in 2 more 9s? Would my mode still be 1, 5, 6, and now 9? No, these are seen twice. This is 3 times, so my mode will change to 9. So you never know what's going to happen in your list, but the most important thing to remember about mode is that you've got to put it in order from least to greatest. Now we're going to do the same idea with looking at that website I will post. going to look over the website at all the different information that they give you, some really great real world examples, and then there's some exercises again for you. And I want you to do those 5 exercises, and I want you to record what you put and what you found the results to be on the student side in your journal. It would be probably best if you would write down all your work. Don't just put your answers. Do not just put your answers down when you're recording it on the student side. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the website that I post on Edmodo. You're going to do those 5 example problems, and you're going to show your work, all your work that you do to get to the answer, and then the actual answers on the student side in your journal, just like we did in the previous night.